These look photoshopped to me for some reason, but they're not. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I achieved this. I don't even know how to describe this look. It's super eye-catching. As I said in the opening of the video, it kind of looks like I've edited the colors on here to like turn up the contrast or something, and I haven't done anything. This is how I always record off of my iPhone. That's all this footage is. And I think it's just the contrast of these colors, the blend. Look at that. Look at her, that middle finger. It's her left, but on our right side, that blue and black fade. It looks so cool to me. And I want to give credit to my mom, who had a lot of artistic input about this, the concept of doing this. Of course, we helped get it all together. But this was a Light Elegance video, and I'm going to show you guys how I use many and plenty of Light Elegance products to achieve this look. So first and foremost, I have to, I was going to say remove her previous design. Okay, so I didn't remove her previous design. I just used the Light Elegance buttercreams over it, and they have such good pigmentation. It wasn't a problem. Simultaneously, this glitter isn't too intense. And maybe if I was using a white buttercream and this was a black glitter ombre or something, I might have, filed it down. But that wasn't the case here. And yeah, it was just such good coverage. So it didn't need to. So I'm just filing off any glitters that may kind of stick out. We don't want them to become an issue and lift up later. So I filed some of the glitters off, but any that are perfectly encapsulated, they went ahead and stayed. This also, this was primarily done to save time. And I'm using the Speedy bit from Light Elegance, and I'm using it at about 25,000 RPMs. And this bit is great. I'm just removing essentially top coat, and like I said, any glitters that look like they're going to be nuisances. But you can use this bit to debulk your enhancement and like take it all the way down if you need to do a file down or something like that. And I'm also using it to take down the length of her nails. She wanted them cut down a little bit, and so I did just a little bit. And I want to leave, of course, a good amount of length so we can get the full design. So I'm using the Buffy bit, and I'm using that to kind of push back the eponychium and remove some of that cuticle that is on the nail plate. I do go back in with the itty bitty bit after this to kind of further get into those side walls and just those nooks and crannies. But this kind of starts the process, at least for me. And so you can see that I'm using this bit. I'm going from right to left to start off. And again, I'm using it in those crevices just to make sure we get all that dead skin removed, which is the cuticle. The cuticle is the skin that grows on the nail plate. And just kind of flaking that up. And I'm making sure I'm using this at about 7,000 RPMs. And I'm using it parallel to the natural nail. And I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I always say it looks aggressive. And it's because this is this is sped up footage. And so I'm using it in reverse just to go from left to right and make sure, again, I get everywhere. So I'm using Light Elegance Air Bond and Light Elegance Tack as our bonders today. And I like to use both. And then I'm doing the fill with Jimmy Gel in Ideal Pink, which was super fast and easy. So I cleansed the nails off. I used the Light Elegance cleanser, the nail cleanser, dusted it off, and then I applied the Air Bond first, allowed that to air dry. That is a priming product that cures with the moisture in the air, and it's great for people who have kind of wet, oily hands. Definitely try that together with Light Elegance, and it'll give you some good bond. Then I applied tack and then cured that in the light. And as you can see, if I can catch up with my voiceover to my footage, then I'm going ahead and I'm doing the fill with the Jimmy Gel. And I'm doing this was super fast and easy. This was the least of my worries in this process. I just apply a slip layer the same as I always do, which is a thin layer that we kind of polish on. We leave wet. And right now I took a bigger bead and I'm just applying that product where I need it and blending it out. And Jimmy Gel is very self-leveling. It has a thinner viscosity. So I wouldn't build a nail this length with it. That's me. Just because it's a little bit too runny for me to do that. If you can do that, by all means, but you probably have overall better success building it with the actual Ideal Pink builder or something of a little bit of a thicker viscosity. But I only have to fill it, which is that back kind of quarter to third of the nail. So, I mean, technically the fill is only a minuscule part, but we have to kind of rebalance it too. So that's why I said like a quarter or a third. So I'm just lightly moving that where I needed it and cleaning it. It kind of gets away from me sometimes, but that's real life. That's what happens. And then I just clean it out the way. And then I went ahead and shaped off camera. I did use the Light Elegance files, I think Perfect Files in I said it wrong last time what the grit was. It's a great grit. It has two different, one more coarse, one a little less. Great for filing down the enhancements and getting them into shape. Then I'm using the shaper bit just to finish file the surface. The Jimmy Gel self-levels beautifully, so there's actually not a lot of filing and shaping that has to happen. So I'm using the Light Elegance lamp, and then I'm using Chemical Imbalance Buttercream, Polymer Pal Buttercream, Positively Charged, and these are from, I think a lot of these are from the fall. Well, this one isn't. This is from a collection a while back. Black Tie isn't. A few of those earlier ones are from, I think, the fall and winter collection. So I'm showing you guys about this vertical ombre. So I took one color on one side of the brush, the other color on the other side, kind of have a string of that kind of reddish color, but it still works. So I'm using silicone kind of thing, matte that I work on, but you can use a form paper or something like that, a tile. And I'm showing you guys the pattern in which I blend. And I'm kind of being exaggeratory, but when I'm going and I'm mixing the colors, I like to swipe a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and that's how I'm kind of showing you guys. So I'm a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, left, right. You see? And so we get a blended color. And I always like to say, simply put, if we were blending red into blue, in the middle, we'd want it to kind of blend purple because, of course, what red and blue make purple, and that's how you get a good blend. Now, in the middle of this kind of color on the left, this pinky red raspberry color and gray, you're kind of looking for like a mauve-y kind of tone color for it to be mixed to. And it's just a slight, I mean, that's how we get the blend. Now, when I did this, I realized that I probably should have painted independently that pinky red color and the gray first around the cuticle area to make sure it's nice and clean and I get in the nooks and crannies. And I honestly experiment with this process a few different ways, but I recommend, if you don't feel comfortable with it or you don't know your method, to paint your left color and your right color first, just a little bit around the cuticle area and the side walls, and then go in and blend it. And I'm using actually 3 brushes for this process. And all 3 of my brushes are, of course, Light Elegance, and it's the gel polish brush. And so I have one at this point loaded with, I'm going to just call it the red. It's not, but we're going to call it that. I have one loaded with red, one loaded with gray, and one loaded where it's half and half, where I first showed you where one brush is blended with both colors. If that makes sense, hopefully, yes. So this is my first finger. It's like your first pancake. It's, I'm trying to get it right, see what feels right. to see if this process seems okay. Just working it. But you see the coverage we got with just this one coat. It's really good, especially over that glitter. But again, it was light. So as I said, I test this out many different ways. So this time I'm going how I said it. I'm applying just independently one whole color. And I'm getting nice and tight and just polishing. And I'm kind of, here's the great thing with buttercreams. And I'm so sad because I didn't fully understand the benefit of them when they first came out. And I just recently got into them, and I really, really like them. And they're really beneficial for a lot of different art techniques, but probably one of the best things that you can have for a vertical ombre or a technique like this. Not that that's what all they're good for, of course, but they're very good for this. So these work like a dream. They had great pigment, but they were very thin. You're not going to lose your shape. Your clean, beautiful stiletto, coffin, square, whatever shape you did, you're not going to lose it because you have such good pigmentation in such a thin layer. Now, I do 2 layers with all of these nails because generally speaking, I'm a 2-coat kind of girl. I don't feel comfortable unless I got the 2 coats. And especially with this, with the blend, it kind of helps promote that blend. You can kind of have your blend lined a little to the left on your first layer and a little bit to the right on the second layer, and it's going to give you an even better blend if there's any little slight sheerness to it, especially if you do a thin layer. Now, I will tell you, the second layer that I apply with these, I apply very, very thin, like almost dry brushing, just because I wanted it, like I just told you, kind of to be a little bit thinner and sheer. That way you can see the blend a little bit better. So that first coat, I'm applying to get some good pigmentation. The second coat, I kind of apply, like I said, a little bit thinner for each color just to perfect that blend. But there's very good pigmentation in this first coat. I just, one is, I don't know why, it gives me peace of mind. Like, even if it's perfect, for some reason, I have to apply a second coat. Unless it's artwork, of course, like line work or something like that. I'm not dying to do a second coat of something like that. But for full coverage on the nail, generally speaking, I am. So this was what I was most frightened about, is blending black. Blending black into anything at all sounds terrifying to me. And especially a horizontal ombre, like a baby boomer, let's say. If you're blending black that way, oh, no. I don't even know if I can really take that on. I did a set a few videos ago, and I airbrushed it, so I don't like to do it. But with the buttercreams and how the pigmentation works and how creamy it is, I'm able to get a pretty good blend, a blend that I feel good about it. Is it 100% perfect? No. Is it very good and at least past my standard? And yeah, it really does. But a lot of the thing with vertical ombres is it's hard to get it like 100% perfectly blended. You need to get good enough. That's what we're looking for. And I feel like this really did the trick. And so with the black, I'm doing the same process, and I'm leaving it very, very thin. I don't want to get too much black on the nail because when it's black, it'll dominate, So I'm using very thin layers, and I think I actually end up doing 3 coats on these nails just because I'm using it so thin. I'm almost holding the brush perpendicular to the nail, which removes more product the more perpendicular you hold it to the nail as opposed to parallel. Just because I'm trying to make sure that blend is together and we don't have excess product, and I don't want to bulk up the nail at all, because I was like, I might need to do this a few times. But yeah, it worked out good. So I was showing you guys we were planning out crystal colors, and I decided to use the fiber gel to hold on to my crystals and beads. And I wanted to throw this in with you guys because you can do a lot with your LE products, including things like this, crystal work and bead work, and trends like that, charms and etc. These beads are just something you can purchase off Amazon, eBay, a nail art supply store. And the crystals, I'm using the Swarovski crystals, but there's different brands of glass crystals out there. So I'm just using the fiber gel, and I applied it on the nail. There's not much of a tacky layer too much on the buttercreams, not enough to bother me or mess with me putting artwork on top of it. So I don't wipe them or anything. And then I applied the fiber gel with the back of a crystal picker upper. You can use a dotting tool. I believe like Elegance has a dotter. I don't have it here, but I believe they do. And yeah, I applied a good amount of that product, and you want to just sink your accessories, whatever they may be, kind of in that gel. Now, if you're using glass crystals of any sort or even rhinestones, you don't want to get that gel on top of the stone. You want to get it on the edge, the lip of it, because that's going to hold it down. You want that gel to seep over the edge and physically cure and physically hold it down. That's how I want to say that sentence. So you want to make sure you kind of sink the beads. You can sink further into it, but those crystals, you want to sink into it, but just the very edge. So this design is actually pretty simple, tedious more so than it is difficult. Yeah, so I'm glad I saved time by not filing off her previous design completely. There wasn't a need for it. So the time that I saved doing that, I kind of, I don't want to say lost, but kind of picked it up here with doing this bead work. But again, not difficult. And I'm just kind of doing a design. It's like a wave across the nail. So I kind of make sure that it lined up with the next finger as far as how the swirl was going. So if you go back before this whole clip of me when I was first putting the gel, I was seeing where it lined up with her pointer finger to go to her middle finger, and it will be so on and so forth, just with this little swirl design. And I'm just moving it, and I wanted to show you, I left this clip in so long because I wanted to show you that these stones and beads didn't really move much. The viscosity of the fiber gel is really good for crystals and charms, and it has that fiberglass. I think 10% of the product, I hate my desk, is fiberglass, and I think it gives it such a great hold. So if you're interested in any, little charm work adding, if you're somebody who uses Light Elegance regularly, or you're interested in Light Elegance and the different products it has, definitely you can use that product for this. Of course, fiber wasn't intended for this, but it works for this. So don't be afraid to try some different things out. So this is just sped up. I just wanted to show you guys just me going through the design, maybe because you just want to hang out with me a little while longer. In terms of design aesthetic, I kind of regret, it's a powerful word, but I kind of regret doing what I did with the pinky, because the swirl kind of matches the swirl on the ring finger, but whatever. It works. It's cute. And also, speaking to aesthetic again, as far as the crystal colors are concerned, and I'm using the brush on nail glue for single crystal application. When I have a lot of beads involved and a lot of movement and kind of fluid designs that I need to perfect, I like to use gel. When it's just like, okay, I need to do 2 crystals or something like that, glue works just fine. And their brush on glue is very strong. I have had great success with crystal longevity with this glue. So going back and speaking on design aesthetic, I chose crystals to kind of represent each color in this set. So I used 2 different crystals, 2 different color crystals on each nail, whether it be the swirl hand or this one. And on this one, I am doing them opposite. So that is supposed to be kind of my green crystal right there. And my black crystal is on my green side. And then on this one, my pinky red crystal is on my blue side. My blue crystal is on my pinky red side. So that is what we chose to do. And this was just like I mentioned earlier in the video, it was just something my mom kind of came up with. We kind of scrolled together trying to find a design. She came up with the vertical ombre idea, and she's like, well, what if it's more fall colors? And I'm like, I usually do like neon bright colors. I've done them with pastels, but never like fall colors, and not any colors that aren't in like color order, you know what I'm saying? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, you know what I mean? And this isn't that. It's just 5 kind of fall colors, and yeah. So I really love how it came out. So I'm using the Perfect file, and I'm just kind of regaining a little bit of my shape and knocking off any excess. So I get to touching stuff. I might accidentally cured some gel here or there. So I just get that all in order. Then I'm using Light Elegance's Flat Matte. And then I am going around those beads and those glass stones. And you don't want to touch over them. Well, for this design, I mean, well, I don't know which design you want your crystals to be matte. Don't do it. And then you can go ahead and seal over those beads with like super shiny, and just to make sure they're locked in, but make sure they still shine. Then I'm using the block brush just to get as close as possible to our design, our little details, accessories, our charms, without actually touching them, because we don't want to mat them out at all. So I'm just using that brush to kind of get in. You can use the swirly brush or a smaller brush. It's just what I had on hand, and the planning of this set took a long time, so it's late now, and so I'm just using what's easy to grab. And then you just use the Light Elegance cleanser, and you can wipe off the tacky layer once you cure it in the light. I just want to show you guys, because I hadn't showed clips of that, and I want you guys to know that I am wiping off the tacky layer. And so I'm just going to repeat this with all the nails, including the other hand. And it was just it's tedious work, but it's definitely worth it because of how this came to be. But the charms and everything aside, I wanted to show you guys this technique and how to get a good vertical ombre. I've showed it before on my channel, but never with the Light Elegance buttercreams. So I want to show you guys how you could achieve this look, and just a little bonus extra of using Light Elegance products to do, you know, crystal work, beadwork, and things like that you can get, you know, those type of looks with fantastic products. So this is our final look, everybody. For details on the products, go ahead and check out the description bar, and leave, I don't even know what emoji down below. I don't even know. Just leave something, you know. That's our exchange. We talked about it. You leave me emoji, a comment, and I keep giving you videos and work and ideas and tips and tricks. So don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell so you'll get notified when I post more videos. And I just want to thank you guys for watching, and let me know down below, have you used the buttercreams? Have you used them for a vertical ombre like this? Did you think you could do a black vertical ombre with any color and get it so clean looking? Just tell me what you think. down below. I love these colors. It's unique. It's quirky. I'm not gonna lie. It is a little quirky, but I like how it came out. Yeah, so let me know down below, and don't forget to check out elegance.com. They sell to licensed professionals. Yeah, let you know. But anyways, thank you guys. Bye.